Hi, I'm Barry Sahajian. This video is about simple jazz lines with variations that you can use very easily in jazz and other venues as well. That's the whole idea, sort of an evolution of the jazz line seeping into other genres very simply. I have a little bit of a formula I'm using for these simple lines initially. And that will be, first of all, it's going to be only on two strings, the first set of lines. And it will be a 2-5-1 as well. So for instance, here's one of them. Only two strings, and it has all the characteristics of a jazz line. And one of the things about jazz lines is that all the notes make a lot of sense. So 2-5-1s come in all shapes and sizes, and in this case we have a 2-bar phrase in eighth notes, which means the 2 is going to be for 2 beats, the 5 is going to be for 2 beats, and the 1 is going to be for 4 beats. And it's in the key of E flat, 2-5-1, F minor 7 to B flat 7 to E flat major 7. So let's take the line step by step. First 2 beats on the first measure would be the 2, the F minor 7. And it's very simple, but right to the point, a 1, a flat 3, and then a 2 to the 3. Could look at that as an approach note, 1, flat 3, and then approach note back to the 3. From there we play the arpeggio down from the root, the B flat 7. And that would be 1, flat 7, 5, and 3. The arpeggio played descending through the chord tones. So far we have Now you will notice it's played in position. It's not hard to play. If you've practiced your major scale, you should have no problem playing this, the 2-5 so far. You can play it fast. Very simple, and that wouldn't be a bad idea to learn it at a tempo. Next we play the 1 chord, which is an E flat major 7, and we play this using the arpeggio exclusively, but we're maintaining on 2 strings to make it simple. Not only to make it simple, to make it easier to transpose it anywhere on the neck. That would be like this. Let's take a closer look at that. It is made exclusively of arpeggiated notes, but we changed the order of them to make it a little interesting. So that would be 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, and then we hit the root and the major 7. So you have 1, 3, 5, major 7. Once again, 2 strings only, in position, easy to play fast. Very easy. Now that line itself could be used anywhere. It doesn't have to be on a 2-5. I moved it up a minor third to give it some character, but it's no longer a 2-5 progression. It's a 1 major, flat 3 major progression. We're on to example 2. And there are a few differences on this line. I'd like to point them out. First of all, I'm using a scalar approach as opposed to arpeggios and chord tones. And secondly, it is all diatonic once again, as was the previous example. Another difference is this line exists on 3 strings instead of 2. So it's a little more of a challenge if you're going to be moving around because bass only has 4 strings. You only have 2 possibilities, the first 3 strings or the second 3 strings. Whereas the last example was on 2 strings, so you had 3 possibilities, which made it easy to move around all over the neck. Let's take a look at this line, and we'll start with the 2 minor 7, which is an F minor 7, and we'll play. And that would simply be a root, a flat 7, a root, then a passing tone, at least that's what I would call it, going to the flat 7 of the B flat 7 chord, which is the 5-7 chord. So that would be. Then we're on to the E flat major 7th, the 1 chord. And we're right up here on the E flat on the 8th fret of the G string, and we're just going to go right down the scale with one exception. We're skipping the A flat. The A flat would be too dissonant. It's not in the arpeggio, and it lands on a strong beat, so we're getting rid of it, and it makes it sound much nicer, I think. That's all for this video. I hope you got something out of it. I ask you might subscribe, hit the bell to be notified of videos yet to come, like, comment. I'd like to remind you I'm teaching privately online, and you can get information about that on a link to my website if you're interested in that. Hope to see you again.